What if the next sentence you speak changes your relationship with your kid, your partner, or your boss? Not in a dramatic movie way, in a quiet, everyday way that shifts trust by a few inches. A sentence that lands as care instead of pressure, accountability instead of shame. I used to think praise and criticism were simple. Say good job, say you messed up, move on. Then real life kept handing me moments where my words either opened people up or shut them down. That is when I realized this is not about being nice or being tough. It is about being effective. Here's the truth that surprised me. From the time we are tiny, our brains learn to read praise and blame. A baby will smile back when you smile because the baby's mind picks up that your face is safe. Connection chemicals flood the brain, warmth grows. Over time, we start to associate certain tones and phrases with either belonging or threat. That is why a quick "what were you thinking" can still make an adult feel 10 years old. And it is why a simple "I saw what you did there, thank you" can make a tired teacher tear up in the hallway. So this is not a soft skill you tack on. This is core to how people function together. And the surprising part is that both praise and criticism can help us grow or hold us back. It depends on how we deliver them. Today, I want to share what I have learned from the science, from the stories, and from my own messy attempts. I will keep it grounded in everyday American life. Kitchen table, team stand-up, little league, that conversation in the car after a long day. My goal is simple. By the end, you will have a playbook you can use the next time you need to say thank you or we need to talk. I want to start with praise. Because praise feels safer and is easier to misuse. There's a myth that more praise is always better. Just shower people with compliments and watch confidence soar. I believed that until I watched praise backfire. A friend of mine in Seattle told me about her 5-year-old niece. The kid brought home a drawing. Grandma clapped and said, "You are amazing." It was meant with love, but the kid melted, tears, anxiety. Why? Because the praise was so big and so global that it did not match the kid's own sense of the drawing. She liked her clouds, but she was not proud of the house. The compliment landed like pressure. Now the bar was set. Next time she would have to be amazing again. If she fell short, would grandma still be happy? I have felt that pressure as an adult. A former boss often told me, "You always deliver." It sounded great until a week when I did not deliver. Then the same words echoed like a warning. Praise can become a leash if it defines your identity instead of noticing your effort or your choices. Here's the pattern I see. Inflated praise tells a person who they are. Effective praise tells them what they did. Inflated praise is global. Effective praise is specific. Inflated praise is about you being special. Effective praise is about the behavior that created value. Let me make it concrete. At a coffee shop in Austin, a barista learns a new way to handle a rush. "You are a rock star" is easy. It might even feel good for a minute, but the praise that sticks sounds like this. When the line got long, you split the drink tickets and called out names with a calm voice. People relaxed. The wait felt shorter. That choice mattered. Notice what happens. You name the moment, you name the choice, you name the impact. No pressure to be a rock star forever. Clear guidance on what to repeat. You can use the same lens at home. Instead of "you are such a good kid," try "you put your shoes by the door so we were out the door on time." That helped the whole family. Kids, like adults, crave belonging. They also crave a sense of control. Specific praise gives both. Now, does that mean hold back on warmth? Not at all. Sincere warmth is jet fuel for learning. It lowers defenses. It tells the nervous system you are safe, you can try, but warmth without truth can feel slippery. The trick is to pair heart with detail. I call it warm, precise praise. It uses 3 parts. First, notice. I noticed you stayed on the phone with the customer even when the system crashed. Second, name the value. That kept the customer calm and protected our reputation. Third, link to a principle. This is what service looks like under pressure. You can deliver that in 15 seconds. It teaches without preaching. It invites the person to own their behavior and repeat it by choice. There is also timing. Praise that shows up right after the behavior has the biggest effect because the brain connects the dots. In a youth basketball game, the coach who waits until the end of practice to say something missed dozens of tiny chances. Far better to catch the player right after the extra pass and say, "That extra pass gave us a clean look under the hoop." The feedback glues to the moment. One more caution: do not praise to avoid discomfort. People can smell that. When you pour sugar on a hard conversation you needed to have last week, trust gets thinner. Praise is not a shield, it is a tool. Use it when the person did something worth naming. Use it to teach. Use it to build an honest culture. Now let us talk about overpraise, especially with kids. There is a reason random applause can make a child more anxious or less focused. Young brains are learning what to aim for. If the target is perfection or approval, their attention shifts from the task to the scoreboard in your eyes. In classrooms, when students learn that praise comes for speed or for being the smartest, they pick easier puzzles. They protect the label instead of building the skill. The fix is simple in theory and hard in practice. Praise the process, praise the strategy, praise the persistence, instead of "you are brilliant." You tried a second way when the first one failed. Instead of "you are a natural reader," try "you stuck with that chapter even when the plot slowed down." Over time, you are not building a praise addict, you are building a learner. I want to switch gears to criticism. Most of us brace when we hear it. Our bodies react before our minds catch up. This is old wiring. Humans fear being pushed out of the circle. We fear rejection more than we fear boredom. So if criticism sounds like you do not belong, we armor up, we argue, we shut down, we attack back. But when criticism sounds like you matter and I want us to do better, something else happens. We lean in. I learned this working with a project manager in Denver who was blunt by nature. When a report was late, he would open with, "This is on you." He thought he was being clear. What he was really doing was lighting the shame fuse. People hid mistakes. Deadlines got worse. We worked on a 2-line opener that changed the room. "I am on your side. Here's the impact of the miss." Then he added the facts. The client sat on hold for 12 minutes. They doubted the plan. They asked to roll back the feature. Same truth, different frame. The second line never gave permission to coast. It gave people permission to stay present while they own the issue. That is the heart of healthy criticism. You make a request, not an attack. You point to a behavior, not a personality. You state the impact in plain words, then you name what you want next. There is a simple sequence I lean on when I am about to say something hard. Situation, behavior, impact, request. It sounds like this. In yesterday's meeting, when you interrupted Julia twice while she explained the numbers, she stopped sharing and we missed key context. Next time, hold questions until the slide is finished or write them down. I want your curiosity with respect. No labels, no drama, clear and kind. At home, the same idea works. A teenager stays out past curfew. You can go global and say, "You are irresponsible," or you can go specific. "It was past midnight when you came in. I did not know you were safe. I could not sleep. Next time, call at 11 to update me. If not, we will tighten the curfew." You respect the person. You hold the line. You connect the dots between behavior and trust. And yes, some people will still react. That is human. Which is why your tone is as important as your script. The goal is steady and warm. Short sentences help. Pauses help. If your pulse is racing, say, "I want to do this right. Give me 1 minute to breathe. I care about you and I care about this." You will feel a little silly. You will also stay in the driver's seat. Let me talk about families for a minute. Families are where most of us first heard blame or praise. They are also where habits form. In my own family, I can trace 2 styles of criticism. One is what I call request-based. It says, "Here is what I need from you." The other is what I call invasive. It says, "Here is what is wrong with you." Request-based criticism is direct about the change. It leaves your dignity intact. Invasive criticism is about your character. It leaves you raw. Picture 2 brothers. The younger one makes honor roll. The older one does fine, but not great. A parent using request-based criticism might say, "You left 2 assignments incomplete this quarter. If you put in 30 focused minutes after dinner, I believe you can raise that grade. I want to help and I want you to feel proud of your work." A parent using invasive criticism might say, "You are lazy. You never take school seriously." The first approach sets a path. The second wounds the identity. Over time, request-based criticism builds grit. Invasive criticism builds either rebellion or shame. Romantic partnerships add another twist. Praise can either deepen love or turn into control. It depends on whether it stays gratitude or becomes expectation. I once heard a husband say, "You always take such good care of me," every time his wife picked up dry cleaning or packed his suitcase. At first she glowed, later she bristled. The sentence had shifted from thank you to reminder. It sounded like, "This is your job, the fix is subtle." When you thank a partner, anchor the gratitude in a real moment and do not attach a forever story to it. Thank you for waiting in that long line today. It saved me an hour. That is gratitude. You always save me can become pressure. Keep your appreciation in the present, then ask for what you need next time as a clean request. Would you be willing to grab the dry cleaning on your way home Tuesday? Appreciation builds connection. Clear requests build coordination. Mix them and you get manipulation. Friendships and coworker relationships ask us to balance honesty with kindness. We do not want to wound people, so we mask. We say, "No worries" when we are worried. We say, "It is fine" when it is not. In the short term, that can keep the peace. In the long term, it erodes trust because the other person never gets real data. Here's a move that helps. Offer a truth sandwich, not the fake one with 2 slices of fluff and a slab of harshness in the middle. A real one. Start with a real care statement. I value this friendship and I want to keep it strong. Share the clear observation and impact. When you cancel same day, I scramble to find childcare. I feel let down. End with a forward path. Can we set plans only when you are sure you can make them, or text me the night before if something changes? Care, truth, path, no sugar fog, no blame. In the workplace, a lot of leaders use something called the sandwich method. Praise, criticism, praise. I get why. It feels safer. It also fails when the bread is stale. People learn to ignore the first and last line because they know the real message is hiding in the middle. If you use a sandwich, make the bread real and the center precise. You took on the tough calls this week and handled them with patience. Then the core. In the client report, there were missing sources and 2 charts did not match the text. The client lost confidence. Then the forward path. Let us build a checklist we both sign before delivery next Friday. I will review with you midday Wednesday. You can also skip the sandwich and use a straight meal. Care, facts, impact, next action. In my experience, people prefer full meals to snacks. There is another move I love at work. It is called feedforward. Instead of reliving an error, you aim the conversation at the next rep. Your demo ran long last time, so this week, aim for 10 minutes of core features, then leave 5 for questions. Practice twice with a teammate before the call. I believe you can nail it. Notice the forward energy. People learn faster when the target is ahead of them, not behind them. Now, a deeper layer. Why do we avoid hard feedback? Because it is risky. You might be wrong, you might hurt someone, you might get hurt. That is why humility belongs in the room. Humility does not mean you are timid. It means you are open to the idea that your view is partial. You hold your view with a light grip and you check it with curiosity. When I give feedback now, I often add a question. How does that land for you? Or what am I not seeing? This does not cancel your message. It invites a fuller picture. Sometimes the other person shares context that changes your plan. Sometimes they agree and add even stronger examples. Either way, you are not a judge on a bench. You are a partner trying to improve reality. Let me bring in a principle from nonviolent communication that has helped me. It says this: behind every criticism sits a wish. If you can name the wish, the sharp edges soften. You never listen becomes, I need to feel heard. Can you look up from your phone while I am talking? You are so selfish becomes, I need help with dinner. Will you take the salad while I finish the pasta? Wishes reveal needs. Needs are easier to meet than labels. I want to return to kids for a moment because so many of us parent, coach, teach, or mentor. Think of praise and criticism as nutrition. Too little and the system weakens. Too much sugar and the system spikes and crashes. What a child's brain needs is steady, truthful, warm input that links action to consequence and effort to progress. When a child stacks blocks for 20 minutes, notice the attention span. You stayed with it. That focus helped you build higher. When a child lashes out, name the behavior and the boundary. Hitting hurts bodies. We use words in this house. If you are mad, say I am mad, then we breathe. You can be both firm and kind. You teach the skill and protect the bond. Adults are not so different. Your analyst in Chicago who ships code at 2 in the morning after a failure needs to hear that the recovery mattered. Your teacher friend in Atlanta who takes extra time for a student needs to hear that care is seen. Your partner who shows up for a hard appointment needs to hear that the support counted. And when they miss, they need criticism that honors their dignity and points to a better next choice. Let me give you scripts you can adapt. Use plain words, use short sentences, use your own voice. Warm, precise praise at work. I noticed you called the client back within 5 minutes. Your calm tone lowered their stress. That moved the deal forward. Warm, precise praise at home. I saw you rinse the dishes before bed. That helped the morning go smoothly. Process praise with kids. You kept trying even when the puzzle piece did not fit. That persistence helped you finish. Request-based criticism with a partner. When you spoke over me at dinner, I felt small and angry. I want to finish my thought before you jump in. Can we try that tomorrow? SBI with a teammate. In Tuesday's meeting, when you dismissed Jason's idea, the room went quiet. We lost ideas we needed. Next time, ask one question before you disagree. Feed forward with a direct report. For the next demo, start with the customer's problem. Show 3 screens. Leave 5 minutes for questions. Practice with me tomorrow. Boundaries with a friend. I love hanging out with you. When you are late, I feel disrespected. If you are running behind, text me 20 minutes before. If that is hard, let us pick a different time. If you listen closely, every one of those lines shares the same bones: respect, specifics, impact, next step. That is the skeleton of trust. We should also talk about self-talk, because the way we speak to ourselves becomes the way we speak to others. If your inner voice is only global praise or global blame, you will either chase perfection or hide from growth. Practice praising your own choices with precision. I went for a walk even though I was tired. That choice cleared my head. Practice criticizing your own missteps with kindness. I snapped at my kid. I was stressed and hungry. I will apologize and ask for a reset. You are training your nervous system to hear truth without panic. That makes it much easier to give and receive feedback with other humans. Teams and organizations can build this culture on purpose. Start meetings with a quick round of precise appreciation. 1 sentence each. Keep it specific and tied to values. Then end meetings with 1 feed-forward request. Next time, share the data earlier. Over time, your workplace learns that praise is not flattery and criticism is not a threat. It is how we improve together. Here is one more advanced move that I use with senior leaders. Separate identity from behavior in the very first sentence. You are a valued member of this team and I need you to change this behavior. Then go straight to the facts. The first clause protects belonging. The second clause protects standards. People can hear the change request without fearing exile. If you lead people, ask them how they like to receive feedback. Some prefer it in writing, some prefer it in person, some prefer a heads up so they can prepare. The goal is not to tiptoe. The goal is to deliver the hardest truths in the easiest form to digest. That is not coddling, that is wise. And if you are the one receiving feedback, you have power too. You can ask for specifics. What is one behavior you want more of and one behavior you want less of? You can ask for impact. What made this a problem for you or for the team? You can ask for next step. What would good look like next week? You can even ask for praise when you need orientation. I am trying to learn faster. What did I do today that helped? These questions turn feedback into a collaboration, not a verdict. I want to end with a story that ties it all together. A high school coach I know in Ohio runs a simple ritual after each game. First, each player gives 1 warm, precise praise to a teammate, 1 sentence, no exaggeration. Second, each player gives 1 feed forward to themselves, 1 sentence, no shame. The room is quiet and focused. Over the season, the team gets stronger, but something else happens too. The players talk to each other differently in everyday life. They learn to notice, they learn to ask, they learn to hold each other to a standard without trashing the person. Praise and criticism stop being weapons, they become instruments. That is what I want for you and for me. Conversations where love and truth travel together, where kids grow tougher without growing colder, where partners feel seen, not managed, where teams get honest without getting mean. So here is your tiny challenge for today. Pick 1 person in your life. Coworker, friend, partner, child. Offer 1 sentence of warm, precise praise within the next 24 hours. Later this week, deliver 1 piece of request-based criticism using the SBI structure. Situation, behavior, impact, request. Watch what happens. Notice your body. Notice their eyes. Notice how a small shift in words can move a big part of your world. You and I will still mess this up. I still do. I still overpraise when I am tired. I still get sharper than I want when I am scared. But every time I return to specificity, to curiosity, to forward motion, the room gets lighter. People breathe again, we learn again. That is the work. It is quiet work. It is brave work. It is worth it. If this inspired you, please give it a like, subscribe for more weekly insights, and share it with a friend who's on this journey with you. Thanks so much for being here. I truly appreciate you. See you in the next video.